This is the second part of the log project. So let us continue from where we left in the previous video.
Now we are able to push the log to the queue and consume it. How we are consuming? By displaying it in the console. But what we want to store it into the database, right? So I will close all of this and then we will see that flow. Okay, so what we will do, in the log consumer, we should be able to store it into the database. Okay, now to store it in the database, what we need a schema and a repository. Simple. So we will start working on that now. Okay, so first what we will do the schema. Okay, so I will come here, I will come to repository schema and I will add a new file and call it as log schema.js. Okay, then so we have already seen how we create schemas and everything. So what I will do, I'll move little fast here. So I'll say import mongoose from mongoose. Okay, then what I will do, I will say const log schema equals to new mongoose dot schema. Okay, and this will take a configuration object. And what thing we want to store in the schema? So if you see log consumer, so how many fields we have? We have log id, message, object, type and created at. So these are the information that I want to store. So for this, what I will do, I will add the schema definition. Okay, so log id type string required, log message is a string, log object is a mixed type, that means we can store anything here. Okay, then type, okay, there is also a string. Okay, and then created at. Okay, so this will be the created at timestamp. Okay, then so this is the schema. Then what we will do, we will create the log model. So const log equals to mongoose dot model. Okay, so the name will be log. Okay, and it will take it from the log schema. Okay, then what we will do, we will say export default log. This is the schema, and along with the schema we'll have the repository method. Okay, so I'll say I'll create a new file and call it as log repository.js. Okay, now here first what I need to import the log model. Okay, so import log from schema. Okay, log schema.js. Then I will create two methods. Okay, one is to create the log and another is to get the log by id. So first I will write the method to create the log. So export const create log equals to async. Okay, and this will take the log data. Okay, and this will be an arrow function. So we will say const log equals to new log and log data. This we have already seen many times. Then await log dot save. Okay, now here we don't have to send any response or anything, right? Just a repository method. Okay, so this will do the saving. Then we'll add another method, say called as export const get log by id, and this we will use later. Okay, so this will be an async function. So this will be an async function and it will take log id. Okay, then we will find log by saying await log dot find. Okay, find how? By this log id, okay, and importantly what I will do, I will sort it, okay, sort it based on the param created at, okay, created at and 1 or -1 based on how you want to sort, that is ascending or descending. I want to sort it time wise ascending, so I am saying sort it by created at, okay. If not of log, okay, what we can do, we'll say return null, because we can't do anything, this is a wrong log id that someone is trying to query. Then return log, okay. So our two repository method are also completed. Then we will come to log consumer, okay. Here now I want to store it into the database, okay. So I should be able to connect, and to connect to the database, okay, I need the database name. So what is the database name here? Log db name, okay. So this is coming from constants and it is named as analytics, okay. Then I want to import, okay, the connect method from config db.js, okay. Then here before connecting to the RabbitMQ, I want to connect, okay, connect to which table? So this will be log db name, okay. So if you remember, this is the connect function which is taking a Mongo URI, okay, and it is replacing this $1 with the db name, and this db name is coming from the parameter. So here I am sending this connect db name, okay. So this will connect to this db name, that is analytics here in our case, okay. We are able to connect to the database, okay. Now here instead of doing a console log, what we can do, we can create this log into the database by calling the create log function from the log repository, okay. So here what I will do, I will say create log, that is this one, okay. So it will automatically import. So create log, and what this will take, the log data, okay. So now I will save this one, then I will take some space, okay. Then we are not anyways logging it to the console, okay. So I will come to postman, okay, and I will come to create participant, and I will try to send the request, okay. So I will send the request and we will get the log id, and before doing this one I have to restart it, right. So I will close this one, okay, clear the screen and restart it, okay, log consumer. So if you see, we are getting this error, okay. So that means we are not successfully able to connect to the database, okay. Now what is the reason behind this one? So if you see this connect function, okay, this is reading from the environment variable, okay. Now this node or this file is running as a separate Node.js process, okay. So for this to be able to read the env file, we have to add this .env, right, and .env.config, okay. Then .env.config, okay. Otherwise how it will be able to read the environment variables, right. So we will rerun this one. So if you see, successfully connected to the db and successfully connected to the RabbitMQ, okay. Then we will come to create participants. Then what I will do, I can run this one, okay. So it ran, we get the result and we get a log id, okay. So I will copy this log id. Then what I will do, I will open compass, okay, MongoDB compass, okay. Then I will refresh. So if you see, we get a analytics database. Here we have this log collection. Okay, now if you see here, I will filter. Okay, I will filter by log id. Okay, and it will have the value that I have copied, and I will say find. Okay, so of course we have only one log id. So here if you see this log id creating participant, and if you see the object, this is the object that it is trying to create. Okay, creating participant in the repository, and this is the object successfully created participant. This is the object, right? Then it is saying invalidating Redis key participants. So here you are getting a clear picture, that is what is happening in the code, and we are able to store it into the database, right? So this is a good start. Okay, now we have something to visualize. Okay, what is happening, because in production environment you don't have the luxury to put debugger, right? Or even to check the console logs, right? So this kind of log will help us. Okay, now what is the next thing that we have to do? Now we are storing it in the database. Now how we will read it? So to read it, we will create a separate express application. Okay, because I don't want to overload my main Node.js process that is busy serving the business need. Okay, so what I will do, in src I'll create a folder and I will call it as log service. Okay, and here I'll create a file called as index.js. Okay, now here what I will do, this is going to be a separate standalone express app. Okay, so for this what I will do, I will import express from express. Okay, and import dot env from dot env. Okay, then dot env dot config. Okay, so that we'll be able to read the environment variables. Okay, then I want to connect to the database, so I'll say import connect to the database db.js. Okay, then I want to know the database name, right? So I will say import log db name from constants.js. Okay, then what else? Import, okay, get log by id from the log repository. So these are all the import. Okay, then one more import start log consumer. Okay, so here we will start the log consumer, and here I will remove this one. Okay, here we don't need it anymore, and this also we don't need it because we are doing it in the separate express app. Okay, then first thing that I need to do is to connect to the database. Okay, so await connect. Okay, so log db name. Okay, then we'll say start log consumer. Okay, and we will catch if there is an error. Okay, so we'll say console.log error in consuming log queue. Okay, now we are connecting to the database and we are now starting to consume the log. Okay, then so this is supposed to be a separate express app, so I'll say const app equals to express function. Okay, then we'll say const port equals to process.env.log port. So you can mention a port there, otherwise default it to 8081 or whatever port you want. Okay, then app dot listen. Okay, I will say listen on the given port. Okay, and the callback function which will do a console log. Okay, console log. So I'll say log server is running on port, okay, port, and I will call it as port, okay, and I'll convert it to template literal, okay, and one bracket is missing. Oh, okay, it is here, so I'll remove it, okay. So this file, what this is doing, this is connecting to the database and it is starting to consume the log, and parallelly this is also running an express app on a particular port, okay, and we will add a route, okay. So I'll say app.get, okay, this will be a get call. So I'll say /log, I'll say /log, then colon log id, okay, and this will take the async method, okay, request and response. So since this is a very small file, I'm putting everything in one place, but if you want, you can segregate it into different controller and service, okay. Here we don't need a repository because we are going to use the repository, the log repository that we have previously created, okay. So I'll say const log id equals to request dot params dot log id, okay, or an empty string. Then const result equals to await, okay, get log by id, and I will pass log id. Then if, okay, if not of result, okay, then what we will do, response dot status, what will be the status, 404 not found, okay, and what will be the JSON object, so we will say message, okay, log id not found, okay, then return, okay, otherwise response dot status, okay, 200, and what will be the JSON, the result, okay, perfect. We will run this one, okay. So what we will do, this Node.js, it was running the log consumer, okay, but instead we will kill this one, okay, and instead what we will do, we will add in package JSON, we have a dev script, okay. So I will add another dev log script, okay. What this will do, this will nodemon src, okay, then log service, okay, index.js, okay, and what I can do, I can add a start script, okay, I will call it as log, okay, and here I will say node, I'll say src, okay, then log service, okay, then index.js, okay, and I will end it with a comma, okay. Now here I will say npm run log, so this will start the log service, okay, successfully connected to the db, okay. This is coming twice because if you see here, we are connecting to the db once here, and here in the start consumer also we are connecting to the db, so I'll keep it here, okay. If you want, you can fix it. So our log processor is running, okay, or the log consumer as well as the express app on which I should be able to consume the log, okay. So what I will do, I will go to postman, okay, then participants, okay, we have this log id, okay. So what I will do, I'll open a browser, okay, and I will go to http, okay, colon // okay, localhost, okay, and what was the port number, it was 8081, is it? Let us check. So this is port number 8081. Okay, so I'll come to port 8081. Then what was the log path? So if you see /log and then log id, so I'll say /log, and what is the log id? From where I'll get it from this one, log id. Okay, so I will add it here. Okay, and when I send this request, if you see, we are getting this information. Okay, and if I do the pretty print, okay, this is the prettier option. So we will have the log id. This is the log id. This is the db entry id. Okay, so log message, then log object, then type, then at what time it was created. Okay, so we'll have this detail log. So once we get the request, and if a client asks us, can you see what is going wrong? Okay, they can check this log, or we will have to check this log, and we can tell the client, okay, what is going wrong, or to the QA people, if they are testing and if they are getting any error, okay, we can tell them, okay, where we are getting this error from. Okay, so now we are able to store the log and access the log on demand, right? And we are getting the log id in every request. So till this part, this is fine. Now, do we need this log forever? We are storing it in the database and we are reading it, but just like how we have the movies information or participants information that we need as long as we are in the business, right? But do we need the log information in the similar way? Well, the answer is no, right? Because this is just for debugging purpose, right? After some time, the purpose is lost. So we should be able to delete this log periodically. Okay, we don't need this log forever to be stored in our database, because it will keep on occupying space and our storage cost will increase, right? It is okay to increase the storage cost when it comes to our business database, that is to store movies and participants and user authentication, right? Because that is the business that we are doing, but that is not applicable to the analytics log database, because log we don't need forever, right? So what we should do, we should periodically delete it. Okay, now the definition of periodic depends on your business need. Okay, you might want to delete it every day, you might want to delete it say once a week, and if it is a staging server or a QA server, you might want to delete daily, but if it's a production server, you might want to keep it for 30 days, 60 days, right? So that period, the definition of period is subjective, okay, but we should be able to delete it periodically. Okay, so for that, what we will do, we will write something called as a cron job. Okay, so cron job will run a function based on certain periods. Okay, and in that function we will write the logic to delete. Okay, so we need a library to do this. Okay, so we'll install that library first. So I will take a terminal instance. Okay, and I will say npm install, okay, node cron. Okay, so I'll install this one. Okay, now I will come to my log service. Okay, and I'll add a new file and I will call it as delete cron.js. Okay, here first what I need to import the cron. So I'll say import cron from node cron. Okay, then I will export a function, export const delete cron job. Okay, and this will be a function, okay, arrow function. Then what we will do, we will say cron dot schedule. Okay, so this will schedule a cron job. Okay, now what this will do, this will take 3 parameters. Okay, first parameter is a cron pattern. Okay, so what is a cron pattern? It consists of this kind of star patterns. Okay, now each star represent a particular time duration. Okay, so this is minute. Okay, this is hour. Okay, this is day, this is month, and this is week. So based on this pattern knowledge, okay, now if I want to run a task, say every day at 3:30 p.m. okay, so for that what I will do, so this is the minute, okay, so I'll mark it as 30, that means 30 minute, and this is the hour, okay, so if I say 15 hour means that is PM, okay, so every day at 15:30 hours or 3:30 p.m. we will run this cron job, okay, so this is hour, this is minute, okay, and then comes day of the month, okay, so for example I will say 28, that means on 28th of every month at 3:30 p.m. this cron will run, okay, this is the month, okay, so for example I'll say 2, that means 2 is February, so February 28th, okay, run this cron job at 3:30 p.m. okay. Now this is the week, okay, so if I say first of every week, that means Monday, okay, 0 is Sunday, okay, and I will mark this as star, okay. Now 3:30 p.m. of February, Monday, okay, so that means every Monday of the month February, run this task at 3:30 p.m. okay, that's what it means. So for our purpose I will keep everything as star, that means it will run every minute, so that I can easily demonstrate the functionality, but you can always change this to the pattern that you want, okay, so this will run this function, whatever the function definition that I will write here, that will be executed based on this cron pattern. So here what we will do, for now let us say console.log, okay, running cron schedule, okay, then what I will do, I will take this cron job, go to this newly created Express app, and when we are listening on this port, okay, here what we will do, we will add it into a function, okay, right, and here before we do the listening, I mean after we start listening and before we do the console, okay, here I will say delete cron job, okay, so as and when my server start, my cron job will also start, okay, so I will save this one, then I'll come to this terminal, okay, and here I'll run the log job, okay, that we have added here in package JSON, okay, this one log npm run log, okay, so this will run the log service, so npm run log. So this is successfully connected to the RabbitMQ, and as well as it has started the cron job. So we will see this console statement every 1 minute. Okay. So let us wait and see. So if you see here, it has added this cron job. Okay. Then here, instead of running a console statement, what we will do, we will write the logic to delete the script, okay, and where we will write in the repository, okay, so we'll go to repository, log repository, we have create get by id, then we will say delete, okay, so here what I will say, export const delete logs, okay, this will be a function, and this will return log dot, okay, delete many, and I will not pass any parameter, that means it will delete everything, okay. Now based on your requirement, you might want to delete 1 week old logs or 1 month old logs, okay, but here what I'm doing, I'm deleting all logs, okay. Then I'll come to the cron schedule, okay, and here what I will do, I will add a try catch block, okay, and here in the catch block what I will do, I will say console.log, okay, error in deleting the logs from cron job. Okay, then I will pass the error object. Okay, then here what we will do, we will say await, okay, delete logs. This is coming from the repository. Okay, and what we will do, we will say console.log successfully deleted the logs. Okay, so the logs. Okay, and what it is saying, this is giving red squiggly await. We can write only in async function. Okay, so I'll mark this function as async. Okay, now I will force stop this one. Okay, and I will start this one, and here what error it is saying, it should be .js. Okay, so I will run this again. Now what we will do, we will come to Postman and we will do the create participant. Okay, so here before that we will do login. Okay, so I'll send the request and I will get the token. Okay, so I'll copy the token and come here to create participant authorization and I will update the token. Okay, and then I'll come to body, I'll pass this information and I will send the request. So we will get the log ID. Then we will go to the localhost 8081 and search for this log ID. Okay, so this log ID is coming. Okay, so if I refresh, okay, we are getting the logs. Then what we will do, we will come to the console and here we will patiently wait for the cron job to run. Okay, so this cron job will log this message if it is successfully able to delete the logs. Okay, so we will wait and see. Okay, so now it has added this log. So now we will go to browser and we will refresh this. Okay, now if you see, we are getting an empty array. That means it is deleted from the database, right? So I'll refresh again and again, we will not get anything, right? So this has deleted the logs, and this was the last piece of this project. So we have successfully implemented a log mechanism and we are also able to clean it up periodically. So this mechanism will help us in doing debug when we are in production environment, because we don't have the luxury to do console.log in production, right? So I hope you really like this project and you took something meaningful from this one, and share your feedback in the comment section. How did you like this video? And if you want more such content, subscribe to this channel and give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will send this video to more number of people. And we are still not done in this course. We have still few more chapters to cover, and I'll see you in the next video.